Kunal Nayyar, I finally get you in my chair. We at Anoki have, been following your career right from the onset. You've been on our sexy and successful list, our Anoki list.
Sexy and successful?
Sexy and successful.
You should do two separate lists because I'm not sure I'll make both of them.
You definitely make both of them.
I'll only make the sexy one.
I'd put you on the successful one as well. You've had a really tremendous, ride so far in Hollywood. Very few people from our community get to where you've gotten to, but what a lot of people don't realize is that you've paid your dues to get there.
Yeah.
I was reading your bio and I was really interested in the fact that you went from this business to undergrad to doing courses in acting at Portland.
I got my master's in acting.
Then you got your fine arts masters at Temple.
Yeah.
And the Mark Twain Award.
Yeah.
In comedic excellence. Was it that award? Was that the award that told you that that's the genre of acting I want to go into, or was it one of those things that you just kind of fell into in terms of The Big Bang Theory, obviously?
I think that I didn't really have any genre in mind. I think when I was in grad school, I think comedy is something that came naturally to me. Growing up in my family, you just had to develop a quick wit because it was the only way I could survive with my cousins. But the truth is, when Big Bang Theory came about, it was more about the script than it was drama or comedy. The script was good, and also I wasn't in a position to choose.
Right.
I was like, oh my god, I have an audition? That's awesome.
Yes.
And I was just out of grad school. So I don't think even to this day that I ever choose any genre on purpose. If anything, it'd be fun to do some dramatic stuff now because I do comedy so much.
Absolutely.
But look, when the camera's on, I'm just going to give it my all in whatever I can.
And you absolutely do. The interesting thing is that, you play Raj obviously in The Big Bang Theory, and here you are playing Tony.
Yeah.
The movie genre, and of course, the TV genre is comedy.
Yeah.
But they're both incredibly different characters.
Yeah.
You get to play like the real cool, hip, sexaholic kind of character, which is a far cry from what you play and what people know you as on TV.
Yeah.
Tell me why you chose that.
Well, that's a good question because that was the appeal to the movie. Not only did I love the story, but I loved the idea of playing someone completely different than Raj.
Yes.
Because it was fun.
Yes.
And I got to show a lot of chest hair and grow a beard and show off some long curls. And I love the idea of playing someone completely different, but I also love the idea that Tony, unlike Raj, is not afraid of the outside world.
Right.
He really embraces it. He loves heckling at people and talking to people, and his personality lives out over here, whereas Raj, his personality lives here unless he drinks. And
yes.
So, I wonder if Tony and Raj met, if they'd be friends. Imagine Tony taking Raj out for like drinks. That'd be fun.
That needs to be a movie, and you need to do a double role in it.
Yeah, okay. You finance it, I'll do it.
Oh my gosh, I would love to. It's really interesting because I was reading the director's notes on Dr. Cabbie, and he stated that, and I learned something really new in this. He talked about white clowns and red clowns. Apparently, white clowns are the people that have, are funny because of the fact that they have situations that make them funny. And then there are red clowns, which are funny by default of, their character. Mm-hmm. You are a red clown, apparently.
I am. Oh, thank you.
You're
Is that
a
what
red
he
clown.
said?
That's exactly what's written in the director's notes.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yes.
Wow.
So how did you come up with this big character? I mean, of course, you know that you had to play quite the caricature in this, right?
Yeah.
How did you big it up? Because you know that the whole world, when they look at you, they just see Raj.
Yeah.
Right? So how do you make them not see Raj and see Tony? What did you do?
I never looked at it like that. I never said, how can I be different than Raj?
Yes.
When I decided to play this character, when everything worked out, it was literally not even a caricature. It was this person whose defense mechanism is to be loud and to be funny and to be the center of the attention.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of insecurity within him. There's a lot of insecurity within Raj, obviously.
Yes.
But there's a lot of insecurity within Tony. You see that in the scene with the judge where he's now suddenly in a different demographic. I'm suddenly in court now.
Yes.
And I've got this, buttoned up shirt and I can't find the words to say because I don't feel like I'm educated enough to be here. So there was an insecurity within Tony too.
Yes.
Except the defense mechanism of Raj is to shut up and the defense mechanism for Tony is to talk louder.
Absolutely.
So it's not about being loud or being big. What I found in acting is it's hard to start small and become big. It's a lot easier to just go all out and then hone it in. So I luckily went all out, and then the director told me that I can go even more all out, and I was blessed to be working with someone who really trusted me, you know, trusted my instincts.
So what do you feel about Dr. Cabbie? What do you hope people get out of this movie?
I just want everyone to have fun, to be completely honest. I think that the message is very clear. You know, anyone can do anything. Everyone's life can take an unexpected U-turn or left turn or right turn. It's happened in my life many, many times. But at the end of the day, it's all going to work out. It always does, no matter what happens.
It absolutely does. And it's really interesting because the immigrant story here is, you know, although it's kind of housed within the South Asian community, it's an incredibly universal immigrant story. You know, we all come from different parts of the world and we have to find our way. Some people decide to completely assimilate, and other people have a hard time assimilating. What would you say to those people, you know, that see this movie for the first time, that don't really understand that whole immigrant story, you know, who have lived where they've lived for generations and generations? What would you want and hope that they get out of a movie like this, outside of the obvious story and you know, the comedic factor, but the serious undertones of the immigrant story?
I think that every single person in the world, whether you've lived in one place your whole life or if someone you've traveled the whole world your whole life, everyone at some point in their life has felt like a fish out of water. You can feel like a fish out of water on the first day of high school. You can feel like a fish out of water when you're a senior in high school or in college or your first day on the job, or you go to a bar or you meet someone that you think is attractive. Whatever it is in your life, everyone is going to feel at some point like they don't belong. And this is what the story is about, is someone who thought he was going to belong, realized he didn't belong, and then realized, oh, he actually does belong. The immigrant story isn't so much a story about overcoming cultural barriers. It's about finding this.
Right.
You know, and I think that's what this movie is about. It's about finding this. And if you can find this within you, if you can hold on to your self-worth when everything is changing around you, then maybe everyone can be a doctor, I guess. You know?
Do you think that you found that thing inside of you?
I'm always searching for it.
Yeah.
I think that some days I find it, and then some days I'm weak. And you know, as an actor, what we do for a living, it's tough. I'm blessed. I worked hard enough, and I got, you know, it's luck is a big part of it.
Absolutely.
But I can't control any of that. I can only control my hard work.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, I think I found something. But some days I lose it and I have to go searching for it again. There's no secret formula.
We're human, right? At the end of the day.
There's no formula.
What would be like that one role you would love to play if you were given it to you?
Oh,
like that crystal ball moment.
I think it'd be really fun to play some like Aragorn in Lord of the Rings, or like someone from Game of Thrones, like one of the princes or kings who doesn't get killed. It'd be fun, like to dress up and shoot, you know, for 6 months in Northern Ireland and with bows and arrows and swords.
Yes.
Give like a big speech.
So I hope to see you in that in the future, my darling. You know, we only know you in comedy, but I know there's a lot more to you.
It's very sweet of you to say, thanks.
And I really look forward to everything else that's going to happen for you, because it's going to happen because it's in here.
Thank you.
Right? Thank you so much. I
Love you to
really
meet you.
appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Isabelle.
Hello.
You're back in Toronto.
I am.
Your debut movie, Dr. Cabbie. It couldn't get bigger and better than that. How are you feeling?
Really excited. This whole weekend has been a bit of a whirlwind. Yesterday was a lot of fun with the music launch. Today I'm really looking forward to the premiere. It's been quite exciting.
So what made you decide to debut into acting, first of all, and then why Dr. Cabbie?
Well, actually, acting was a bit of an accident. I kind of stumbled upon it. I trained as a dancer when I was younger. So when I moved...
And that's why you've got this fabulous physique that you have?
Yeah, it's all due to the ballet, the many years of ballet. And when I moved to India, I saw that, you know, they danced in the films, and I was like, oh, if I just learn how to act, I'll be able to dance on stage and do all these great songs. And so I went to New York to learn how to study acting, and then, rather surprisingly, I fell in love with it.
You go to Lee Strasberg?
Yeah, Lee Strasberg Theatre and Film in New York.
Wow.
amazing
There's
score.
a big wow
absolutely.
right there. Yeah.
It was a great score, amazing. And I just kind of fell in love with acting, and it became like a bigger passion for me than dancing, which was a little surprising. Caught me a bit off guard.
Yes.
And then I got involved in a theater group, and things just kind of snowballed. And a year after I graduated, I was in Toronto shooting Dr Cabbie. I play Simone. She's a very funky, spunky girl. She kind of meets Kunal's character early in the film, and Kunal's a big playboy. He's with all the chicks, always picking them up. And my character kind of tames them a little bit, gets them to quiet down a little bit, calm down, and realize that, you can have love with one girl, and yeah.
And, how was it for you? I mean, being on set from, acting school, method acting no less, and you're thrown into this like hardcore, hilarious comedy genre with, producers like Salman Khan and, funny people like Kunal Nayyar.
Yeah.
That must have been really nerve-wracking.
It was a little bit nerve-wracking, and I remember my first day on set was the banquet scene, which was there's a small dancing sequence, and that was my first shot, my first day on set. And I was like, well, you might as well start in the deep end if you're gonna do it. But it was great, and it was a bit of a shift for me, because like I said, I mainly focused on drama in school. I just never really saw myself as a funny person. So it was quite funny to me when I came to LA that everything I was being cast in was comedy, especially this, which is a very big comedy, and obviously with Kunal, who's a huge comedic star.
Yes.
So it was a little bit of a shift in gears.
What for you would you say was the most valuable element that you learned about the filmmaking process?
Well, I'd also worked as a PA and an AD, an assistant director, behind the camera. So I knew a lot about how it worked behind the camera, the process of shooting. I want to say, what did I learn the most? You know what? It's just getting comfortable and in front of the camera, in front of acting, and like being intimate or doing very quiet scenes in front of a lot of people. And it's really just the experience, which I think was the most invaluable. Nothing is better than practice.
Absolutely. A lot of actors that I've spoken to who, come out of their first movie experience always say to me that I learned everything. It's like, I wanted to know, what was happening at the craft table, how was the technician doing this? What was the camera angle capturing at that moment? What kind of emotions were, coming about with my actors, and, what were the dynamics like? And I'm feeling that you had that kind of an experience on this film.
It was a bit of an exposure to everything at once. Like I said, I was lucky because I had worked behind the camera, so I knew how the logistics work. But like you said, how the emotions on camera, especially coming from a theater background,
exactly.
It's a little shift in the acting. It's a little bit different, and
so is it less pronounced, I'm assuming? Because you know how in theatre there's a lot more projection.
That was something I did have to learn. More than making it smaller, you just want to internalize it a little bit more. Because obviously in theatre you're acting to the very person in the back row, however many rows down it is.
Yes.
So you want to make sure they can hear you and they can get the emotion and the gist of the scene. As in camera, it's like right there. It's right up in your face. So more than making it smaller, just internalizing it, so it's a little bit less.
I can tell by this fabulous dress you're wearing that you're a bit of a fashionista, as most women are.
What can I say?
Talk to me about some of your fashion influences.
Well, obviously my sister, quite a lot, and my fashion influences. You know what? I don't know. I just really like wearing things that make me feel comfortable and make me feel secure. I will be honest, most of the time I roam around in jeans and t-shirts when I'm not working. But it's just having fun with it, what makes you comfortable, and not being afraid to try new things. This is a new thing for me.
Really?
Bold prints.
Oh my God, it looks
like
a new thing
I'm playing with.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you.
And what would you hope for the future?
I don't know. There's
I
just
love
so
that.
many things.
That is the best answer ever, because people always kind of want to plan the next 20 years of their life, when one single thing in life can just completely change the course and direction of your entire existence, right? And it seems to me that you'd be open to whatever may happen, right?
Well, that is something that the last few years have taught me. Is when I went to Strasbourg, I had a very set plan, what I was going to do, how I was going to do it. And the last few years kind of taught me that you can plan away, but life is going to happen how life is going to happen. And just to let go and go with the ride. Fate, destiny, God, it has a plan, and just
trust in it.
Just trust in it, and I honestly don't know. I'm excited for whatever comes. Thank you.
Fabulous chatting with you.
Thank you so much.